What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I thought about a couple of things I wanted to cover, but I guess I'm gonna go with armor. A lot of new light players have been having trouble with armor, understanding the armor 2.0 system, and I really can't stress enough how important armor stats are in 2.0 and then how they're going to come into play, you know, and Beyond Light. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Here I've got my hunter pulled up. You always want really high mobility on a hunter because obviously their main trait is to disengage and get back, retreat. So you want your class ability to always have a really fast cooldown, PvP or PvE, especially PvP. Trust me, it comes in really handy. And it also comes in handy whenever you're in a boss phase anywhere. Automatically reloading your weapons comes in really handy. Your resilience, as of right now in the sandbox, resilience is useless. But if you do play PvP, you want to make sure it's at least 20, 24, I think, 25, so that you don't get too tapped by Thorn, which I've seen happen. Recovery obviously speaks for itself. You want it to be high. Depending on the build, I mean, these last three, depending on the build you're using, if you're looking for a great build, Astacross has a ton of build videos. Just depending on how you want to play PvP or PvE. I'll break down each armor piece. Obviously here you get targeting. You've also got what says 10 energy up here. You can only slot up to 10, obviously, with your mods. And you're also going to have different mods available depending on which archetype, like whether it's solar, arc, or void. I mostly run void because of hand cannon targeting, sniper targeted. And of course your last slot's going to be your seasonal mod slot. Let me swap this around so I can show you what I'm talking about. See, here's Arc. The Arc deals with shotguns, pulse rifles, and heavy machine guns. Oh, and bows. Sorry, and bows. Well, I don't have any solar, but solar is auto rifles, submachine guns, which is the meta now in PvP. I don't know, here, same thing. Scout rifles, sidearms, snipers, and hand cannons is void. Fusion rifles, my bad. Fusion rifles. Both regular fusion and linear fusion. Auto rifles and SMGs. Solar. Let's see what else. Oh, of course, duh. What your armor rolls at out of the gate. Like, unequipped, no mods, nothing put into it. Like this right there. Like, I should delete that. Anything below 60, to me, now you might be different, but to me, anything below 60 is useless. Here we've got a typical PvP loadout for me. This is usually what I run. I'll switch it up between TEMPESTS and DUNEMARCHERS. Always want to keep my recovery pretty high, as you always do in PvP. But I mean, to each their own. Melee for a Titan. What else can I say? I mean, they punch things. That's it. They punch things and eat crayons. Just to give you an idea, kind of how. Now, I mean, if you look at your big streamers, obviously, somebody like Astacross that plays a Titan constantly is probably going to have 3 stats in the hundreds. But this is good enough for me. Another thing that comes into play is obviously your seasonal artifact. Unstoppable, overload, anti-barrier. If you run Master or Grandmaster Nightfalls, those come in really handy. Also, same with the Raid, Garden of Salvation. I think there's 1 or 2 in there. The big one, though, the good one's always in the last column. And this right here is a must-have. If you read each one, it only works on certain armor slots, like that Void Grenade, Solar Plexus, Solar Melee abilities. I mean, they're all different, so make sure that you read. Just remember, guys, this stuff is for new lap players. All you experienced people, obviously, you're going to know all this. Obviously, your stats are probably going to be better than mine. That's fine, whatever. This is just for people to get a baseline knowledge of how armor works. The next thing we're going to talk about is what armor, what subclass to run, what character to get the best bang for your buck, so to say, the meta, if you will. You'll look at my loadout here. Well, aside from that, this is a PvP loadout. I'm sorry, a PvE loadout. As a Titan, you're always going to run Top Tree, which has got Ward of Dawn, which gives you Weapons of Light, which is an extra 10% damage to all your weapons. And if you pair it with the Helm of Saint 14, gives you that. Now, as far as PvP, you're going to want to run Striker, Bottom Tree. I mean, there's nothing that comes close to it. I mean, yeah, some people will run top or middle tree hammer, but bottom tree striker is your go-to as a Titan. Now, when you run that, you're also either going to run one-eyed mask if you have it. SYNTHOCEPS is another really good one to run. Which it just increases your melee range. It's a must-have, pretty much. And like I said, the one-eyed mask, this is what it does. It highlights your enemies. It pretty much gives you a shield. And it for its chest piece, you really don't have any good ones. Aside from this, I mean, this one's okay. But here's your meta leg armor. Antaeus wards, which is it gives you a little shield when you slide, like if you're shotgunning. It's just straight for PvP. Same with DUNEMARCHERS. Gives you increased sprint, which is a good thing. I always run these with top tree because you get a shoulder charge with top tree. And if you slide in and shotgun somebody, it doesn't kill them, go ahead and hit that shoulder charge. More than likely, it's going to kill the person you were shooting at and at least damage any nearby enemies. So, moving on. Here we got our warlocks. As far as PvE is concerned, I mean, there's several different ways you can run this. I always like to run Void bottom tree because of this. What it does, you consume your grenade, and every kill you get restores your health, and it lasts forever. If you ever see people solo in different dungeons or anything like that, chances are they're running bottom tree Nova Bomb. Now, if you're doing a raid or a nightfall or something like that, most people are going to be running Middle Tree Dawnblade, which is Well of Radiance. Sometimes they'll pair it with Lunafaction boots, which before they nerfed them would instantly reload your weapons while you were in the well. But I mean, they nerfed it, but it's still good. I don't ever use them. Here's another good one, Phoenix Protocol. You can read what it says there. They nerfed this too. I mean, you can tell I don't play Warlock all. This is Armor 1.0. But you used to be able to get your super back in no time running this. As far as PvE, that's about all you want to run, unless you're running Ag Clear. Now, if you're running Ag Clear, I always run bottom tree arc. Some people run top tree, which is fine, but I always run bottom tree because of landfall. Take each their own, whatever you prefer. And now, if you run arc, this is a must-have. Your Crown of Tempests. I mean, you can see there what it does. Now, moving on. If you're running Warlock in PvP, obviously top tree Dawnblade is the only way to go. I run it with SUNBRACERS, which I don't have a good roll of SUNBRACERS, but melee kills give you your grenade back. I mean, if you get your grenade high enough, you can literally spam grenades the whole match. There. Transversive is also a good choice, and then all it does is it makes you run faster, and it reloads your weapons as you run, or as you floof, however you say it. All right, moving on. When it comes to hunters, PvP, top tree. Top tree is the only way to go. Now, with that, you want to pair it with your Orpheus rigs with you can see what it does there. Another PvE build is bottom tree. Yeah, bottom tree. I knew I had it on there for a reason. Bottom tree solar. with Celestial. Which Celestial, you can tell I don't play Hunter either. What Celestial does, it fires one single shot, but it's like 3 or 4 times the damage that you would usually shoot your golden gun with. Alright, now as far as PvP, some people say they like running Middle Tree, Blade Barrage, for, you know, just to shut down supers. I'm not a fan. Myself, if I'm a hunter, which I rarely am, I run Spectral Blades. And the reason for that is, dude, you're a tank. And the super lasts forever. Now, they make armor like the Guizen Vest, but they've nerfed it since it came out. I mean, this came out with Shaken, so it's been out a minute. They've nerfed it into the ground. Another one, you can run Middle Tree Pole Dancer, which Bottom Tree is my favorite. This just lets you guard, but Bottom Tree is my favorite. I always run it with the Raiden Flux. But I mean, there's other exotics. Like I don't know much about Hunter. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play Hunter. I play Titan. So when I do play PvP with a Hunter, that's what I do. Well, guys, that's all I've got for this video on armor. I don't think I missed too awful much. I mean, I'm sure I could have went into a lot more detail, but I don't want to confuse anybody. Like I said, this is just for new light people. If you'll tune into the next one, we're going to be covering weapons and weapon rolls, and weapons that are getting sunset, and weapons you want to get. Anyway, until next time, stay safe and be kind.